Really? You can't just say, "Hey, I count down or something."
I'm not going to count you down.
3, 2, 1.
When we get
That's
to
all you
the,
have to do,
when
right?
we get to
You
the
can't-
place
you
that
can't
we
count
have
down.
professional level production, I'll do that. Until then,
This
I'll
is
press the button and you'll like it.
Professional.
Otherwise, I'll have you get up and press the damn button.
Okay, that's not a good idea.
Yeah, there you go.
So, pressing buttons on my thing. All right, so
There you go.
all that I do press buttons a lot. All right.
Can't believe we're going to do a review episode. I mean, look at this shit. Like, and I've got 2 copies of
Yeah,
Batman in there.
I took my duplicates out too.
Well,
You left your duplicates.
Well, I left it in on this one. We're not comparing size, big boy.
Oh. Okay.
I was
I
just
took mine out.
I was just figuring you wouldn't have one or the other cover, and so I brought them both because both covers were really good.
So we're reviewing June 10th.
Well, let's do that on here.
Okay.
Hi guys, I'm David.
And I'm Garen.
Were you uncertain about it that
Yes.
time?
And we're gonna let's talk comics. Yes. With the Print and Power podcast, we're gonna talk about comic books today. But we never do that.
So if we were waxing the car, would you say, "Let's wax cars"?
That's actually kind of clever. I like that. That's a good one. I like
I gotta be
that.
so damn literal minded.
That's nice. I like the last wax cars. Good for you. Oh, it's gonna be one of those days. I can feel it.
All right, guys, we're doing the review episode from June the 10th. It was a heavy week the
This
heaviest
was the
week so
first
far.
heavy week since COVID.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, I
Yes,
spent
yes,
$50. It was
Yeah.
mind numbing, and really, I want $10 back. So we should be starting with Ablaze.
Sumerian Red Nails. Now, I don't know if there's gonna be more than one issue of this or not. I hope so, because this was pretty good.
Did the story end?
Not really. So, Valeria has been tracking down Conan in this book. She tracks him down, and they're in this lush forest, and basically she kind of captures him, sort of. But then, of course, their horse is being eaten by a giant dinosaur, which was weird.
They're in the
but-
Pictish wilderness, aren't they?
Exactly. It's exactly where they were. So,
Oh, I know Robert Howard.
as they run, they're running toward this, looks like a Mayan temple.
It's
Which
a
is-
Pictish tip.
Pictish. Anyway, so it looks Mayan though. It literally has the squares. Like anyway, so they get to the temple and stuff ensues. Essentially, there's no one there, but then they find there's a ritual sacrifice going on, and the bad guys are there, and Conan, of course, caves in the skull of a couple bad guys, and he does express his horn dogness toward Valerie. So
Valeria,
whatever.
No, Valerie is a white chick that does my hair. Valeria is
So
a warrior goddess.
this was good. The art was very nice too. It wasn't, Sergio Aragonés-esque in the Queen of Black. So good. I liked it.
Why are you right here? Look, move your Dr. Pepper can. Look. Here you go, and we can turn it to where the camera can see this, and it is a pretty cover.
You have nothing from Aftershock, really?
I have nothing from Aftershock, really.
Okay, Artemis and the Assassin number 2. So the assassin goes back in time to go kill a resistance fighter during World War II. It's her assignment. She is a paid assassin. It's her assignment to do it. Of course, she can't quite do it because this particular assignment is much more wily. You see early on, she actually loses a leg due to an injury when she was playing with a rifle that she shouldn't have been playing with. So
she shot her leg off.
She did. She shot her own leg off. So yeah,
I had an uncle that did that.
Really?
Really?
So yeah, this is pretty good. And of course, during the resistance, during World War II, and the Germans come and find them, and they wind up killing a bunch of Germans. Even the Germans kill a bunch of them, and so then because she's gone back in time, they have a tussle at the end of the book, and they go back in time even further to the Old West. So kind of interesting to see what happens. This was pretty good. Also, Join the Future number 2. I'm really surprised you didn't get this one. This was good. So basically, what's happened is this industrial complex is coming along, and they're going up and buying up as many of these old towns and homes as they can because they want people to work for them. It's clearly something maniacal going on. Well, the towns that resist, they just burn them down. They just kill the people and burn it down so they can just take it for themselves. So this young girl you see here, she's the only one to get away from her town. Her father's killed, and the sheriff of the town is the one who does it. She goes back to try to find as much bullets as she can so she can survive and go take the sheriff down. She didn't care about the industrial complex. She just wants to kill the sheriff. Well, she couldn't get her way. So, good Undone by Blood, number three. Number three. She's getting closer to the people that killed her parents and almost killed her. She's getting closer. She's going looking through old records. She's looking through the yearbooks at schools. She knows pretty much who did it, but she doesn't know all the details. But of course, the town now knows that she's back. They're running her off the road. They're trying to kill her, and of course she. As this whole time, there's another story going on, which is this gunslinger story that she's been reading as a book from her dad gave her before he died. The cool thing about the book is that it's a mirror of what she's going on. It's very much a hunt you down kind of tale. That's what the Undone by Blood.
My favorite Kesha song, Hunt You Down.
Hunt you down. I'm a hunt you down. Anyway, very good book. Some good stuff. Not 8 of 8, nothing really.
Keep going.
Archangel 8, number 2 came out finally. Good book. I'm starting to see more and more of what's really going on. That Michael, the Archangel, is sending these kind of semi-angels after another angel who has gone to Earth and stayed there. He's trying to find ways to do it. So yes, this is a Punisher style story, but it's a bit more in depth than that. So been good. I've enjoyed it so far. Nice book. Then they had Old Haunts, number 1. Essentially, it's a bunch of Goombas. They've all lived their lives. They've killed hundreds of people. They've buried them. And now what's happening is the...
Goomba to mean mobster. Just for those of you who had the picture.
They're mob hitmen. They're old and fat and wealthy now because they've lived their lives. Well, now what's happened is now the roosters have come back to roost.
Roosters have come home to roost.
Come home to roost. I got it. All right. Okay. And the ghosts are now coming after them. So little by little, they're going to hunt them down. So it's old ghosts. Good. It's good.
Old Haunts.
Old Haunts. Yeah. I don't know that I'm going to get number 2, but it's all right. And then of course one of my
Wait.
Oh, you have Faithless, don't you? Yeah. From Boom.
Boom. Brian Azzarello gives us Faithless 2, number
Faithless
1.
Part 2.
Now, if you didn't read the first 5
Yeah.
Faithless issues, you missed a really good story. So Faith has all these kind of paranormal things happening around her, and she ends up falling in love with a girl named Poppy, and it is a very erotic book. Lots of nudity, and
They do that in comic books?
pornography almost.
Really?
And her father is this very devil-like character. Louis or Lewis, I haven't decided which one it is. But they basically get her known as this famous artist. So in this issue, she's dealing with feeling like a fraud and realizing that maybe she's in a situation where she's not that inspired, and they've kind of set up this image of her. She goes and does a talk show, and she doesn't talk at all. Louis is with her, and she speaks only to him, and then he answers for her. Very kind of weird and creepy, but that was the point, was to make it weird and creepy. And then there's a whole piece with menstrual blood, and I'm not even going to talk about it beyond that. It was a little much for me, and it's rare for me to say in comics it's a little much for me. I'm absolutely going to read the next issue, but yeah, it was a little bit like, wow, this made me uncomfortable and a little grossed out, and that's okay. That's okay. No judgment toward anyone else who wasn't. It was definitely in the point of the book is to make you feel a little creeped out, a little uncomfortable. So it did a good job. It found something that finally pushed my button. Yep. Brian Azzarello.
So from James Tynan IV. Thank you, James. Again, appreciate this. Something's Killing Children, number 7. How you're not reading this is it's shocking to me. But so the company with that essentially trained and hired Ginny.
You're shocked I'm not reading something you think is good.
But it's James Tynan. We love him.
There are 6 issues here you've talked about to my 1. There's lots of things you read that I'm not interested in.
Anyway, so Ginny's superiors are basically come to find out what's going on with these creatures. They're trying to figure out why she hasn't killed the rest of the creatures. Well, she's killed the mother, the mother of the creatures. There's little mini creatures left over. But what's happened is these little mini creatures, well, they can't be killed unless they are feeding. And of course, it's pointed out to her. And they basically, what the higher up wants to do, who's actually, he's stuck up rich boy. He says, listen, we have to go take one of the kids that's already been traumatized and use him as bait. And of course, she's like, no, we can't do that. That's too much. So, well, what other way are you going to do this? We got to figure out a way to get these monsters to come out so you can kill them. So it's creepy, but it's very, very good. And there's another sub story going on where Ginny is now being hunted. So it's pretty great. Let's switch over to
DC. So I bought both covers. Actually, I bought 2 copies of this cover because I hung one on my wall. Love Punchline.
good choice.
Batman number 92. This, I felt like there was a lot of advertisement that this was about Punchline. It's not.
No. This is the first time we see Punchline doing anything. That was the point. So
Yeah.
yeah,
And what's she doing?
kicking the crap out of Harley Quinn.
I don't think that's what's happening.
Well,
her and Harley throw down.
Her and Harley throw down because Catwoman and Harley go to find the broker.
The Underbroker.
The Underbroker. Underbroker essentially is a bank. If you need something
For bad guys.
Bank for bad guys, and so they go to withdraw money, rob the bank, and of course the bank's already being robbed by Punchline. So who's literally beats Harley and Catwoman to the punch.
Right. Well, and that's so the best line in the world was, "Oh, and trust me, honey, you two are jokes, but I'm the punchline." I was like, yes, make the name make sense. Way to go. That wasn't the best story in the book. While Punchline was great, and I messaged Garen and was like, I thought this was going to give us Punchline's origin, and he's like, dude, it's in Joker. I was like, oh, okay. So the best part of this is the Joker has kicked off his grand plan that the designer helped him envision years ago when the Joker first became a villain, or was first getting known as a villain. And a part of his plan is getting all of the other villains to enact their plans so that Batman's drawn very thin.
So Riddler goes first?
No, well, Penguin.
Well, Penguin started.
Right.
But
And
Penguin was nearly killed.
Right. And in this issue, the Riddler has turned Gotham City streets into a crossword puzzle, putting these energy fields up that prevents people from leaving their block. And Batman is solving the crossword puzzle. And it's so fun. It's so typical.
While keeping Deathstroke restrained.
Right.
Which is tough.
Although Deathstroke's kind of helping him at this point.
Kind of like...
They're killing zombie cops together.
You know what? I'll give you a hand. Don't worry. No, this one's free.
Re-killing. Yeah, I don't know. You can't kill the undead. But anyway, and Batman is solving Riddler's riddles.
Oh yeah, just
casually, and Riddler, in very typical Riddler fashion, is screaming, "How are you doing this? You're cheating! Oh my God!"
Like you're watching me. I can't cheat if you're watching me. Exactly.
And so he just shows up where the Riddler is
because he recognized it.
Because he recognized the background,
Yeah.
and it was Stately Wayne Manor. And so he takes down the Riddler, and then he opens a door, and the designer, who supposedly Joker killed a few issues ago, back in the past, is sitting there and says, "Come in, Bruce. We need to talk."
I still say the designer is Alfred. I'm just saying. I've said that from the beginning.
Actually, what you said was Batman from Another Reality, but
That's not what I said.
that is what you said. I'll play the damn episode for you. But it would be interesting. I don't think it is, but it is. I think Bruce from Another Reality is possible. Thomas is possible. But that would mean Thomas has been in this reality a long time.
I think it's Alfred. Maybe Alfred from an alternate reality. Could be anything.
Why would Alfred help villains, though?
In order to challenge Batman and ultimately control the game so Batman wins. Just saying.
Oh, this ain't about Batman winning.
We'll see. We'll see.
Well, I see some possibilities. If I had a guess, Tommy.
Could be Tommy, yeah.
Could be Hush.
Yeah, it could be Hush, yeah. Honestly, because Hush was real. I mean, the Hush we saw was obviously Clayface, but there is a real Tommy out there. Anyway, that'd be interesting. Interesting. So,
But I mean,
yeah.
my guess is it's somebody new. But if I had
This
to
is big
say an
speculation.
existing,
Yeah.
it would it's him or it's Ra's al Ghul,
Yeah.
and it could be Ra's
I
al
don't think it's
Ghul.
Roz, because Roz would come directly at him. He just would. It's just Ra's al Ghul, isn't it? Like, look, listen, detective, I'm gonna come right at you.
Unless he was trying to teach him new skills.
Maybe. We'll see.
So I love this issue. I can't get enough Batman.
So, this was fantastic. The adventure continues.
I wasn't ready for how good this is. First of all, if you read Batman: The Adventures Continue, you're going to read it in the voices of Batman the Animated Series.
So it's Bruce Timm. Well, I'm sorry. It is.
Paul Dini.
It's Paul Dini writing it. But
No, it's Paul Dini's art, isn't it?
It's Paul. Well, no, Paul Dini's right. Burnett's writing it. This is the animated show, and you hear Tim Daly as Superman. You hear Clancy Brown as Lex Luthor. You hear Kevin Conroy as Batman.
Yeah.
So there's this robot that's going to.
Which is funny because the person who's the reveal I heard is Jensen Ackles. Which is who did.
Well, yeah, but with the Red Hood, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. So,
Spoiler alert.
oops. But we're going to do it anyway. So, there's this robot that's terrorizing and robbing and destroying things.
And it goes and steals something from Wayne
Right.
Tech
Right.
that is an alien artifact.
Right. Which you don't know about until the end, but.
That was being studied by Wayne Tech.
Right. But
Bruce tries to stop the bot.
tries to stop the bot.
Can't
the bot,
do it.
The bot has no energy emissions. It isn't using anything to fly. He's like, and he says, I don't understand, how is this even functional? And he realizes what's going on. He knows what he has to do.
Well, Alfred points out what's going
Well,
on.
Alfred.
And it's so nice to see Alfred in this.
Yes.
Because I've kind of missed Alfred
Because you
in
heard
the
Alfred's
books.
voice too. I can't remember
Yeah.
the actor's name played Alfred, but you heard Alfred's voice too. It's pretty cool. So
Master Bruce.
Master Bruce. Yeah, exactly. So this was pretty cool. So he goes and he gets out the bat armor, which God, I love the bat armor because it's the one he uses against Superman in Dark Knight Returns. Not the kryptonite gloves, but the regular armor.
Right.
So gets the bat armor out, and of course and by this point he's already had a confrontation with Lex Luthor as Bruce Wayne. He's like, so Luthor, of course, is his arrogant, stupid self, and that's when I think it's at that point he realizes that Luthor's behind all this, and he knows exactly what's going on. So he goes and finds, he tracks down the actual suit, and as he attacks the suit, he realizes that he knew it was Superman inside the suit the entire time.
Superman's the battery.
Superman is the battery for the suit. He's just been incapacitated.
So the interesting thing is they didn't just pick up where the animated series ended. They have included all the stuff that happened in Justice League.
Right.
And Batman Superman Adventures. That whole animated universe is in here.
It's a shame it was only 6 issues.
Is it only 6?
It's supposed to be a 6-issue.
Oh man, I hope it goes on going.
Well, this could very well be ongoing because, quite frankly, this is going to be a great title. So the artifact they're looking at is Brainiac. It's
Yeah.
Brainiac's empty shell, and they couldn't get it to function at all. They only thing they could do essentially was get it to turn on and use its laser beam. So that's what Bruce does. That's
With
what
a
Batman does.
Batarang.
He uses a Batarang, and he gets it to turn on. And of course, it distracts Luthor long
It
enough.
zaps Luthor in his power armor.
Zaps Luthor's power armor long enough to get the armor to shut down in order for Superman to escape and, of course, capture Luthor.
Well, that's not what happens. So Luthor runs away from Batman. He's on a helicopter with Mercy, and he's like, "Get us out of here! You do not know how dogged
yeah.
Batman will be." And Batman comes and sabotages the plane or the helicopter and takes him down, and then Luthor's suit, big robot suit, shows up, and Batman lasts against it just long enough in the hell armor to unlock the mind control that's got Superman in place, and then Superman rips his way out of it and takes care of Luthor.
So how did you know I was in here?
And
Well, he was flying with no way. He wasn't any way to fly. It was clearly you.
use a big solar battery.
Yeah, exactly. So good story.
Yeah, very good story. But the B story that's happening comes from this leather jacketed
this shadowy figure walking through Crime Alley
with a gun.
with a gun, and you look and you're like, who is this? And then when the face comes in, you're like, oh, that's
But he's got a gray streak in his hair,
that's
man.
weird.
It's
But
kind of cool.
I guess in the animated show he did. Mm-hmm. But yeah, this is Red Hood. This is Jason.
They're doing the animated series version of Red Hood. I am so hyped for this.
And the cool thing is, if you look at the back here, they actually show you the animated series action figures, the newer ones that are the 6-inch tall version, not the 3 3/4. And of course, the Bat Who Laughs is in it. There's a Bat Who Laughs character, and I think there's a Red Hood there too. So,
But done in the animated series style.
exactly. So pretty cool. And this is, it's very much nostalgia for people like us. But you're gonna have a
Old
lot.
guys.
But you're gonna have a lot of people who they spend a lot of time during COVID with their kids showing them this book, showing them
Or
this
the
cartoon.
animated series, yeah.
So this is a cartoon people are going to want to see again. So I know you're not doing this, but wish you were. But this is the Batman's Grave, Warren Ellis. So there's a designer-esque character in this story that is kind of one step ahead of Bruce. Now at this point, Bruce is still young. It's still a fairly young Alfred, and he rescued in issue 6. He rescued Gordon from Arkham because this designer-esque character, whoever this person is, has been sending people against Gordon too. So as he's leaving Arkham Asylum, someone blows up the Batmobile, which should theoretically be impossible because no one can get into the Batmobile. But there was an explosive set inside that was designed to go off not while Batman was in the car, but before he got to the car. It was as a I can get to you kind of thing. So he calls an Uber, which is Alfred. So as soon as he gets in
There was no part of that that said anything over. That's your own embellishment. Stop it.
Alfred says, "Well, please make sure you give your driver a positive mention." I mean, just it's pretty funny. So basically, they're trying to figure out who's behind this now. Batman's trying to put all the parts and pieces together. He's talking about all the villains that have come in. He's trying to put the pieces together. He's not quite there, and he's working on it. So this is getting, because there's only 4 issues left. So I'm kind of interested to see where this goes. This has been fantastic so far. So, you got your Flash? You want to talk about it?
I do want to talk about my
Yeah, let's
Flash.
talk about your Flash.
So we've been working up to dealing with Paradox. Oh, that's funny. You and I picked the same Joker cover.
Well, I picked a couple, but this is the one.
Yeah. So Paradox has kind of brought Flash and Reverse Flash to work together to fight Paradox. Well, they come into the mainstream timeline where Godspeed is being held captive by Paradox, and Barry frees Godspeed. Godspeed joins with Reverse Flash and Flash, and they're going to fight Paradox. And Reverse Flash is like, the only thing that we should do is go back in time and kill this guy when he's human, and then none of this happens. Paradox averted. and Barry's like, no, you can't do that. What we need to do is save him from becoming Paradox. Well, Godspeed and Barry don't have the ability to travel through time without a cosmic treadmill. So
But Reverse Flash does.
Reverse Flash does, and Barry asks Reverse Flash to go back and save Paradox before he becomes Paradox. And Godspeed's like, you're going to trust this insane killer to do this? He's like, well, you got to have faith somewhere. And Reverse Flash just takes off, and you don't know if he's going to kill him or save him. He saves him. So he saves Paradox from becoming Paradox. Paradox blinks out of reality, and Barry has a moment of redemption with Reverse Flash. It's a moment of,
just a moment.
thank you, literally just a moment. Thank you for doing this. You could be the greatest hero, and you could, Thawne, you could really do right. And Barry turns away to go hug Iris, and Reverse Flash snaps Godspeed's neck. I mean, yeah. So Thawne has been.
Well, Godspeed that's actually his Flash's friend.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're actually friends.
Yeah.
Wow.
Even though he's a bad guy.
Well,
So
bad guy.
bad
I mean,
guy.
that's
Well, he killed somebody. So
he killed several somebodies, right?
So Reverse Flash says, "You were stupid to trust me, and it's time to go form the Legion of Zoom."
The Legion of Zoom.
The Legion of Zoom. So we're going to get a.
Now, Zoom discovered the Dark Multiverse yet?
I don't know. I think so.
Ooh. You think she's going to get a bunch of evil Flashes from the multiverse? That kind of makes sense, yeah.
This is good, man. This is one of the best things I'm reading.
See, and it's funny. I dropped Flash a long time ago because it got to the point it wasn't silly. It was just
So if you dropped,
Same
if
story
you
over and over
dropped,
and over and over.
say, you know, all of that, you could put Flash into your budget pretty easily, and it's a really good book.
all right. So anyway, I'd have to catch way up. So
No, you haven't. I've been briefing you on it every 2 weeks.
So let's talk about this.
All right, so just like the Catwoman thing, there's not many stories in here that are super worth reading. I think there are two. One is Punchline's origin.
She's pretty good. She's pretty crazy.
I don't know if she's crazy or like Joker, she's really, really sane. But that's one story, and the other one is a story written about Joker having killed Batman.
Why is it you and that's the exact same story that I actually really liked in this.
I didn't like its ending.
No.
I thought it was ridiculous. Spoiler alert: Joker, after at Batman's funeral, realizing that he screwed up and that he is defined by Batman,
He joins the DMV.
he goes to work for the DMV. So no white face. He's there as a human, huge.
Well, okay, so
But
the whole time, so what happens is Lois Lane is reporting from the Batcave. It's revealed Batman is
Bruce Wayne.
Alfred is like, he just wanted to people.
I can't believe they killed my son.
I can't believe he killed my son. I mean, it was really touching, and of course he's there with a bomb in the middle of this huge ceremony. Like, wait a minute,
Not ceremony. Bruce's funeral.
Bruce's funeral, yeah, and it's like, and he's like, oh, I'm gonna kill these people, and they say, wait, hold on, oh man, they actually really liked him. Crap. I don't have anyone to fight now. Crap. So it's pretty good.
I think that it pointed out that the Joker is defined by Batman. I do not think the Batman is defined by Joker.
No, I don't think so. Either.
Although Joker War may prove me wrong. So we know that not all of this is in continuity.
None.
Punchline's origin should be, just like I think Batbaby should have been in Catwoman.
I think we're gonna see Batbaby again.
Mm-hmm.
The story in here that's the most poignant of all of them is Denny O'Neil. I think this is the final thing that he wrote before he died yesterday. Day before yesterday, Friday. He died Friday. Very sad. Denny O'Neil was a amazing writer. He'd written pretty much so much for the DC universe. I mean, from Green Arrow, Green Lantern to Batman he's just phenomenal. And he was 81, so it's a very sad passing. It's a hard passing when you have these creators you've known your entire life, and now it's like Denny O'Neil is the one who did the heroin storyline from Green Lantern for the Speedy was on heroin.
That iconic.
Yeah.
Let's deal with this problem of drugs.
Yeah.
That's.
That was a tough one to read. It's a tough one to talk about,
But it's a cover I have hanging on my wall. I mean, it's a facsimile edition,
Yeah.
but that's an important moment in comic book history. And Denny O'Neil writing that story is very powerful.
So, very sorry for his passing. And remember, this is one of the last. I think the last thing he did was that. So, let's talk a little about the Justice League number 46. So, they get the Tartarus. So they're on Themyscira. The Spectre hasn't made it there yet. Of course, Queen Hippolyta comes in. She says, "You brought these people to my island. That's the one rule. You can't do this. What am I supposed to do with you?" Then, of course, Spectre appears, and they're all going up against.
I did enjoy Jon Stewart.
Oh yeah, so
using the ring to create constructs of all the other Green Lanterns to fight the Amazonians.
So the Justice League group, they actually get away, but when they get away, what happens is the Themyscirans have no one to fight but themselves. So it's sister against sister. They're fighting against themselves.
When they were all about to kill Hippolyta.
So Hippolyta. So
Hippolyta, whatever.
As the rest of the group is going to the gates of Tartarus, Green.
It would take an army.
Green Lantern Jon Stewart stands behind and says, "Hey, what about me?" They go up against him, and of course, then his ring gives them Hal Jordan, and it gives them
Guy Gardner
Selleck
was in
and Guy
there.
Gardner, and
All the alien
Kilowog.
ones. Yeah.
So it gives them this Green Lantern Corps for them to fight, which is pretty fantastic. So they don't have to fight each other, but they can fight him. So pretty great. Now they find Jim Corrigan almost immediately within the doors and the gates of Tartarus or Hell. And of course, as soon as they find him, who appears?
Tartarus.
Tartarus himself, because he's like, hey, gates open, it's mine now, and he's gonna escape or try to escape anyway. So we'll see if
It'll take the Spectre to stop it.
it will. And Jim Corrigan, now the Spectre can find Jim Corrigan because the gates are open. It should be an epic battle of good and evil. Should be pretty amazing.
Venditti, a hell of a writer.
Oh yeah. So
I did not have a whole lot of faith in what was coming after Snyder's run. I really enjoyed Snyder's run on Justice League, and this has been a good.
Snyder's run was deep and it was thought provoking. It was very well done. My last DC book is Legion of Superheroes, number 6. There are 3 first appearances here. So let's talk about the 3 first appearances. So essentially what's happening is the Trident, Aquaman's Trident has been a source of problems ever since issue number 1. The pirates have been hired by Mon-El's father, the Daxamite, to come and take it back. And the pirates have been hired to do this. So they go to Legion headquarters, they go to the planet, and of course, the Legionnaires evacuate as much as they can. And Monster Boy is a new character. Monster Boy, he is a changeling. He changes his monster form based on the need. So his monster form, when you first see him, is like one of the Martians from Mars Attacks.
Meet.
And it's
No, that's not what they do. What do they do?
something like that.
Yeah.
So, but
I did Roadrunner, and I was aiming for a Martian. Sorry.
Saturn Girl was like, "Hey, listen, you need to change your appearance." He's like, "I can't. This is what happens when something like that. This is how I appear." Different situations have different things. So he's a different Monster Boy. Then, as John and Saturn Girl are going to take down these Daxamites, they are overpowered and outraced by the Gold Lantern. His powers are pretty exponential. They're very similar to our Green Lantern, but in a gold power, and he's got power absorption, which is interesting too. Interesting new character. We have no idea what's going on with him just yet. This is brand new. Now, there is a new Dr. Fate. You see him in one panel, doesn't speak, he is this big in one panel in a background. I'm not joking. There's one small panel. He's there. I don't know how that's a first appearance.
First cameo.
First cameo appearance, but these two have speaking roles. It's the first appearance, so Fate's there. Not sure what's going on other than that. So now I kind of have to read number 7. So really been a fun series. I've been enjoying Bendis's run.
Good speculator book too. There's a good
book.
chance Monster Boy and Gold Lantern may take hold in,
they're going for,
in the zeitgeist.
This is going for about $20 on eBay.
Yeah.
So decent speculator book.
Yeah.
Nothing huge.
You may want to send it off to get graded and be worth more.
One from IDW, Wellington number 4.
I was looking at that. Is that a werewolf rabbit, man?
Yes.
It's a werewolf rabbit.
Yeah. So
I'm not unhappy about
there
that.
have been deaths in the village, and the fawn elf creature from another reality I know it's weird.
Sure.
She essentially is trying to help Wellington figure out what's going on and take down this creature. And of course, Wellington then gets tricked into following down into a pit where he's going to have to face the creature by himself. Saw it coming. Good book though. I've enjoyed it. I don't know. Aaron Mahnke's one of those characters that I didn't ever know if I was really going to enjoy everything he's done, but he's been pretty great so far. I have 0 complaints. So, all right. And what do you got from Image? What do you got from Image?
So I have been saying for quite a while now that I was really looking forward to the Dodsons and Matt Fraction's Adventure Man. It was a dense read.
Oh yeah, this is a huge book for $3.99.
It read like a novel,
Yep.
and I enjoyed every page of it. It had the pulp hero feel in the original Adventure Man.
Oh, it's Doc Savage, it's Indiana Jones, it's Tom Strong, it's all those kind of adventure seed kind of characters. It's very, very cool.
Adventure Seed.
Crap! Did I just do that? Okay.
Yeah.
Didn't mean to do that, but that's our sister podcast. But
It's not our sister podcast. It's a podcast
on our network. Anyway, so so the very beginning story is about this brave group of characters. It's from the 1930s essentially. There's Zeppelins but there's ray gun blast things too, and
it's very cool. It's very occult, very pulpy.
And so basically, it's the end of times if this one book is opened and it shouldn't be. Well, what's happening is it's a book being read to a kid, and when the book's over, when at the end when the main character is going to be killed, the book stops. And there's
I mean it ends on his death.
But we don't see him die. We see an assumption of his death.
No, it ends on his death, and the kid doesn't want to hear anymore, so he screams. And Mom stops reading the books. Like, you
Main
know,
character of the page, Mom.
hey, don't worry. There's more books. You know, we'll.
But there weren't any more books.
Right.
That's the thing. There are no more books. So we go and we see this mom of this incredibly intelligent kid is the most plain nobody person in her entire family.
She's hot.
She's hot, but she can't hear very well. She has a hearing aid she has to keep in.
She had hearing loss.
Yeah. And it's what's funny is that at the dinner table you all have to contribute something. That's the rule from the dad is you have to contribute something positive from your day. Well, her brothers and sisters are CEOs, they're magnates, they're business people, they're artists, they're writers, they're everything. She's so very plain because she just runs a bookstore.
Her mom's bookstore.
Yeah.
Her departed mom's bookstore.
Exactly. So to her, in her mind, she's kind of nothing compared to the rest of her family. So with her, even her kid is even super brilliant. He's learning Portuguese at the dinner table. It's insane.
You really pulled a sense of inferiority. I didn't pull that at all.
Well, but she clearly felt very plain.
That's what's cool about books and comics, man. You take your own interpretation out of things.
Yeah.
I mean, you guys might read this and read something totally different, even though you're injecting your own thoughts and feelings
But
into the
she
story.
may have felt plain, but she's very content in her life as well. She doesn't want to be those people. She doesn't want to be them.
She gets caught with her hearing aids turned off, and
Yeah.
and her dad calls her out, and it's very cute. And then we find out about her life, and she runs her mom's bookstore, and this mysterious woman shows up and gives her this really interesting book, as seen on the cover here, that has the symbol from the Adventure Man novels.
It is clearly Adventure Man.
And these crazy bug creatures are stalking her because of the book, and she gets in a fight, and she kicks through the bug man's chest, and dude, it's fantastic. It's adventure, it's sci-fi, it's pulp, it's perfect. Fraction knocked it out of the park. The Dotson's art is beautiful.
It's amazing. Amazing.
I said, hey, number 3's coming out in August. I'll probably pick it. I'm gonna follow this one. This is gonna be a good book.
Yeah.
If you didn't pick up Adventure Man, I think you missed an opportunity.
This is one that I heavily recommended to people after I read it because genuinely it was fantastic. And it's like, wow.
And it's not really capes and tights.
No.
I mean, they clearly was a superhero team. There clearly are some villains.
Yeah, but they weren't capes and tights superheroes.
Right.
Yeah, they were more like science adventure.
Yeah.
Science occult adventure. And they had this special serum they could drink to make them super, whatever their superpowers were, it enhances superpowers.
And they'd never used it before.
Right, well, the main guy had, I can't remember his name now.
Adventure Man?
Adventure Man, but no one else had. No one else had. It was really cool. So.
Yeah. All right. So, Decorum. Just as Green Lantern has become too highbrow for me, Decorum very quickly became too highbrow for me.
It's not highbrow. It's okay. I will say this:
No,
the
keep
only
it positive.
Only one thing in this made true sense to me, and that's the fact that she's looking for someone to take over her role eventually. She's looking for an assistant, and she's training her assistant. I got that part. The Silver Surfer part kind of made sense too, because they're trying to keep this god happy. I got that too. It's the beginning that just didn't make sense to me at all. Like, what's going on?
I will not be following Decorum any further. I love John Hickman. I feel really genuinely kind of bad that
I am going to give it one more. I'm going to give it a third issue because
because you read garbage.
I want to, but I've got to read something. I can't just stop at issue 2. Let me do issue 3.
I can.
But if at issue 3 I'm still really confused, I'm going to have to drop it.
Ben, solidarity, brother. I'm done.
We'll see the issue 3. Philadelphia number 6 is out. So
It's a cool cover.
it's beautiful.
Fred J. Lee.
It is Jay Lee, I think. I think it's Jay Lee. So it doesn't say Jay Lee anywhere. Does it say? Luis.
No. But it is very J. Lee. Moving on.
So the for those of you who have not been paying attention to Philadelphia, essentially is set in Philadelphia, and our second president, John Adams.
You have to go back to the origins every time.
Because it's confusing, right? Our second president is a vampire, has been for a long time. And he essentially has been consolidating his forces. So this father-son team, where the father is now a vampire who's not fully turned yet, they've combined forces and they figured out what's going on. They know what's going on. And what's happened is one of President Adams' devotees, this young man who turned into a vampire, he discovers the vampiric powers in this book, this secret book that only a few people have ever been able to read. And what he does, he turns them on his fellow vampires, because what they're doing is wrong. They're taking over a whole city, killing a whole city's worth of people just to prove a point. They don't have to do that. So he then turns it on Adams, and Adams winds up melting because he can't stand the vampiric powers. He can't stand the light. What no one really realizes though is Abigail Adams has been alive the whole time. Abigail Adams has escaped all of this, because basically the whole city kind of came together to go take down the vampires against Abigail Adams, and now
She's kind of hot.
she is now taking over his role as the head vampire. So we'll have issue 7 coming out next month. So excited.
I'm gonna have to grab that in graphic novel. That actually does sound pretty good. Undiscovered Country, number 6. I love this issue. I thought it was very good.
It was concise. It made perfect sense.
It wasn't an origin story.
Nope. This was, we're going for it. This is what we're doing. This is how it's going to happen. There's some betrayal in there. Because there's the trick at the end, But I did find it interesting that the Destiny Man, all these people are they're all red, white, and blue, but they're not Americans anymore. They're just they're quoting "Live Free or Die." It's like, come on, man, what are you talking about? This was
At some point, it all just becomes jargon.
Jargon, exactly. So, I will admit this was very well done. I love the scenery. The art in here is just amazing. I mean, this has been a very well done book. And if you're not reading this, I think you're kind of cheating yourself. Yeah, the first few episode issues are like, what's happening? Because they have to tell you a story of who they are for it to make sense. But now you know who they are. Now you know why they have to walk the spiral. Now you know what's going on. Now you know. So Uncle Sam is now dead. You got the goal.
We'll see him again.
Well, we'll probably see Uncle Sam again. Yeah. Now we have figured out what's really going on. We figured out.
I don't think we know what the hell is going on.
We've had confirmation though that 30 years haven't gone by inside the United States. It's been 100 years that have gone by inside the United States.
I loved the imagery of them traveling down the rainbow rail. I mean, it's just like there is so much being said here by Charles Soule and Scott Snyder in a very entertaining way. It's a good narrative. Ben, thank you so much. Honestly, if you hadn't dropped me that really nice signed copy of issue number 1, I wouldn't have felt obligated to keep reading. And I would have probably wiped my hands of it. But
That's good.
Snyder and Soule are amongst my favorite writers, and so I'm really glad I've stuck with it. It is actually a really good book.
I've been really happy with this. So I've been happy since the beginning. You're the one who was like, this is garbage. No, I'm not reading. Oh, fine. I'll read number 2. Fine. Okay, this is okay. Well, our issue 3, it's okay. All right, okay, fine. Our issue
No, I still have criticism for those first 5 issues being a series of introductions, but it's cool.
Well, this is the first story arc.
Shut up and talk about Daredevil.
Hopefully, this will go on for a while. Hopefully, this will be like ongoing for a while. So, Daredevil number 20. So, the Stormwinds have hired all these assassins and super villains to come in and essentially destroy Hell's Kitchen because they're tired. They're done. So Kingpin pissed them off. Kingpin killed one of their siblings. So they're coming after Hell's Kitchen. What they don't know is Daredevil is still there. So Daredevil, because going after Crossbones, going after Rhino, going after all these villains. Bullseye is somewhere there. And what's interesting too is Typhoid Mary has been asleep for a long time. She's been in hibernation. And unfortunately, these idiots destroying homes, that means they actually broke into one of the local churches and awoke Typhoid Mary. It's a very bad idea. Even though she is not a villain, she still has powers that are very villainish, and so she's going to use them. So when she wakes up, Daredevil says, "Listen, please just take Rhino and get him in the water. He can't do much if he's under and buried in the ocean." So she can't quite figure it out. So he actually has to almost kill Rhino to take him down. It's pretty great. But in the meantime, Kingpin finally kind of reappears, and he uses his massive bulk and power to help. He goes back to back with Daredevil to help save his town. But what's interesting, ultimately, once it's all said and done, and the Crossbones is taken down, and Rhino is almost killed, Even Owlsley is down. He's not no longer Kingpin. His people give up because they're like, hey, listen, we live here. We don't want to destroy what we own. We have family here. We can't do this. So they run away from him too. At the end, though, we see Kingpin saying, hey, arrest this man. And they're like, no, we're not arresting him. And he says, no, you understand. He says, I'm giving up. I'm turning myself into the authorities. That's the very end of issue 20. So, Chip Zdarsky, man. Genius.
Chip
Love him.
Zdarsky.
Yep.
All right. So, this comic, I have liked Tini Howard for a long time. Excalibur number 10 convinced me that Tini is going to be one of the greats. She is going to go down as one of the all-time best comic writers ever.
Tini Howard has the chops.
Yeah.
She definitely has the chops for this. And I mean this in all seriousness because not everybody knows the history of Excalibur. A lot of people have never read it because it wasn't truly an X-Men title, even though it kind of was an X-Men title. They don't really know the history.
It was the British book.
It was a British book,
with
yes.
mutants.
And they didn't really understand, so a lot of people didn't read it. Now, of course, it's becoming more popular again because people are finding that, well, it was a fantastic book, so now they're coming back to it. Well, Jamie is the eldest.
Jamie Braddock.
Jamie Braddock is the eldest brother. He is the one who has been dead for a long time because his power is reality manipulation. Well, what does he do here?
He's created another reality.
He's created a pocket universe.
And there's the main universe still running, but in this pocket universe, London has been attacked by what seems to be Krakoa,
Right.
but is actually Jamie. And at the end of the book, she's dead.
Well, she knows what's going on. She knows what's happened.
Yeah. She goes to fight Jamie, dies, and the reality splinter
Goes even another.
into the members of the team, and all of the members of the team become Captain Britain, even though they're not British.
And
So
it's
Jubilee,
it's a Britain core.
right? Jubilee, Richter, Gambit,
And Rogue.
and Rogue all get Captain Britain powers.
The most important takeaway from this is we see Kitty Pryde. And when I saw Kitty Pryde, I knew that
But it's a
something was-
pocket reality.
It's a pocket reality
Yeah.
where Kitty's alive in the pocket reality.
Yeah.
When I saw that,
I was mean. I text Garen and I'm like, Kate's in Excalibur.
When I saw that, and I read it like immediately. I'm like, oh, fuck me. Ugh. Stop teasing me, goddammit. So thank you, Teeny. I appreciate you teasing me. No, honestly, this was a really good book. She's
Well, it was a way to evoke emotion about a character that we very much care about, who is seemingly dead without redemption.
right.
And it was a place to go, an unexpected place to like tweak your melon a little bit.
Yeah. So
And speaking of reality manipulation, New Mutants number 10. Hey, you know who was in this?
everybody,
Ilyana.
Ilyana, yeah, she's in it, but so is Wild Thing. No.
Yes.
The Wild Child.
No. Wild Child is
No, it's not Wild Thing. It's
Wild Side.
Wild Side. Yes.
Yeah. I thought it was Wild Child when I first saw him, and I was like, why does Wild Child have gray hair? No,
what did Boom
it's
Boom
one of
call
the
him?
MLF.
What did Boom Boom call him? This half a Wolverine wannabe.
Yeah. But his claws induce hallucinations or dreams
Yeah.
in whoever he attacks. And so they brought him because he was a good tool to use against this reality shaping.
And he's been a villain,
yeah,
but he's no longer a villain because he's with Krakoa.
right.
So what's interesting is
Still kind of an ass though.
oh yeah. So the Russian government and the Russian president use this as a tool to show that the Krakoans are attacking. It's like, no, we're trying to save your city. What are you talking
Right.
about? Armor goes in with Wildside and with Cypher.
And armor.
Well, Armor.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Armor
I
goes.
wasn't
She includes them inside her armor, and of course, this mutant essentially is so powerful it takes down all three of them kind of at once. Armor, I don't think is fully down. I think she's inside the armor, but she's still been affected by this.
Mm-hmm.
This.
It's a very interesting take. I mean, they're using. I think that New Mutants are getting a good utilization of characters other than the New Mutants.
Right.
I mean, I don't think anybody was like, "Oh, holy shit, Wildside!"
No.
But
I guarantee there are some people. When I saw
I think
Wildside,
he's a Liefeld creation.
yeah. When I saw Wildside, I'm like, really Wild? What the?
Yeah, like
When else last time we saw him? It's been a
Right.
long time since we've seen him. So, we haven't seen Sabretooth dig his way out yet either. So, that's
that's going to be a major plot point.
going to be a painful plot point. I can.
All right, so that's the June 10th review.
Yeah, I mean, this is a good week. It's a heavy week.
A very heavy week. There's a lot of reading.
It's the first week I've spent this much money in a long time.
You want me to tell you how to save some?
Shut up.
All right, guys. Thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. We really do appreciate it. Keep doing that.
Yeah, please tell us what you think. We're still at printedpanelpodcast.com, and still got really cool stuff on Facebook, and
Tell your friends, and most importantly, tell your comic shops, because we wanna interface with them.
interface in their face. No, we don't do that. That's rude.
I just hit stop on the recording. That was going away. Ugh. Sorry, YouTube. You have to hear our shenanigans a moment or two more.
Thanks a lot, guys. We appreciate it.
Okay, love you. Bye.